We'll need it for this one. Perspective on hell. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing good. You see, things are a little bit different here. Got some new equipment, got some new stuff for the storytelling. Did a little bit of rearranging here inside of the office. So yeah, hope you guys are gonna enjoy the new look here. Now, last video I did was what happens after we die. And I know I got some interest on a lot of comments, people to get my perspective on hell and the meanings and stuff and things I've witnessed and seen, and seeing other people go through and seeing, you know, just experience in general with dealing with hell. It's different than I would have to say that mainstream media is portraying it. I guess you could say there's some parts that are true, some parts that are not. But from the years of stuff that we do, hell, let me go ahead and start with this. In our tribe, the Navajo tribe, there is no such thing as hell in our spiritual beliefs. Now, there's no hell in the sense of what a lot of people think it is. So hell in a lot of major faiths and religion is a place that if you do some bad stuff in your life, you get sent down to a location and a place where you spent centuries and eternities in damnation, and you must pay for your sins and everything that you've done in your life. Yeah, we don't have really anything like that in our faith or in our spirituality that we have. But does that mean that there is such a place, there's not such a place as hell out there? No. Well, yes, there is, but not in the way you think it, like I said. Hell, from my experience, isn't like where if you have a bad life and stuff, you get sent down to hell, and you know, you go through the, you know, the layers of torment and torture for eternity. Not from my experience. It's more so of a homeworld for darker things. It's a homeworld for demons and devils and the armies of hell and evil and devils, and yeah, it's kind of a place that human thought process and emotion cannot fathom how crazy it is there. It's, you know, from what I've been told from other people too, is it's a place that sound, vision, sensory, human comprehension cannot comprehend it. I guess you can say it's a place that a lot of things live, die, get reborn, mutate, transform, train for war and hell and darkness and evil. That's what hell is. Now, do souls end up getting, or do they get sent there? Yeah, the human souls can get captured and brought down there, and you know, all this other stuff, tortured, amusement, slave trade, all this other gnarly stuff that the humans can be put through. And yeah, you know, like if you do some really bad stuff in your life, hell will open its arms up to you, but you got to go through the initiation process. You got to lose all your free will and become a slave work a slave for a couple eternities in hell, be the armor carrier, armor polisher of a demon, or all these other different things, be tortured, and it's not fun. It really isn't. But from what a lot of people talk about, like, if you do some bad stuff in your life, yeah, there's gonna be punishments, but I don't know. It's just like, I really haven't met anybody that went to hell and came back. Well, in a sense that you get sent down to hell for being a bad person. Of course, I've only been here for 29 years now, but it's almost like there is no coming out of that. There is no, redemption, I guess you can say. I guess there can be, but this is where it gets a little advanced, even for me, to where, like I said, where you go after you die. If you've done some mildly bad stuff in your life, you'll be stuck in purgatory if you don't know how to get through it or find amends for what you did. If you do some really, really bad stuff, maybe the creator will deem you to go down to hell, or even, you do some really bad stuff and you do die, you do pass on. I'm pretty sure that there's not going to be guardian angels waiting for you when you do pass away. There's going to be demons and devils coming to come collect your soul from whatever shit you did in your life and take you down there. And as far as the hierarchy goes for new souls and stuff, it's just because we've gone against things from hell, we've gone against things from hell's armies, and there is no human remorse, there is no compassion, there is no sense of love. They're just beasts, they're just fucking evil, like, to its core. There's just not really much about it, but they do need soldiers for their armies. They do need cannon fodder. Then there's power fights and all these other different things that go on in hell, and it's like, dealing with them, fighting them, and these different things all these years and stuff like that, it's a heavy subject for sure. But as far as for the aspect of you dying, you do some bad, leave it, like, I don't know, I hear examples on comments on here, because I don't follow Jesus Christ, I'm going to hell. That's stupid. Jesus Christ is cool. Like I said, not hating bashing on any Christians out there, but there's some bad ones, wonky ones out there that be commenting stuff like that on my channel. But like I said, it's not going to be like a time to where, like, if you don't follow a certain deity or God, you're going to go to hell. No. If you don't make your bed right, you're going to go to hell. No. What else? You cut someone off in traffic, you go into hell. No. Like, but what I mean about, like, people being, like, sent to hell, it's like, to do, like, mass genocide, to do, torturing, to go against natural laws, to, all these different things. In the act, while you're doing it in the act, you almost, in a sense, lose God, creator's favor. And you, in a sense, start inviting and bringing evil spirits around. Instead of having, like, those guardians, like how I mentioned, you almost swap them out for demons, and they encourage you to do more bad stuff. You end up doing more bad stuff, and more bad demons come your way for souls or all this other crazy ish you may be doing in your life. And then, yeah, when you do pass away, they take you down to hell, they make him one of theirs. That, in a sense, is more so of going to hell. Now, when you go, like I said, you step on a rock or a crack in the road, you're not going to hell. You had to do some pretty major stuff, and you got to be on the evil's watch list if you want to, end up going to hell. You'll probably like it there, but I doubt it. But it's, when you really think about it, when you get that bad, there almost is no more good in you. It's just, you know, you reap what you sow. And you know, you walk with the wrong crowd, you walk with the bad crowd, then that's what's in a sense is going to happen to you. And you know, lo and behold, it's not a big surprise when that stuff does happen. And you think about it, it's just dark, you know. That's why I had to burn some sweetgrass, because those guys don't mess around, you know. It's they dabble in everything dark and evil. Like they are in a sense the definition of evil. Now, is it called hell? No, it's called a concept that is older than human language, humans in general. Darkness and evil have always been here since the beginning of this universe. It's just kind of their homeworld, but then they have multiple homeworlds out there, and of just evil essence of people that go and do some things. Now, are there different factions of hell? Are there different factions of demons out there? Yes, there are. There's not just one faction of hell and evil. There's not just one type of evil thing. There's all sorts of different types of evil things out there in this world. And where they come from, whether they come from, you know, our planet, our dimension, you start thinking physically about the planets, but then you also have to start thinking about the dimensions, infinite amount of dimensions in the cosmos, and different things, different worlds all coming together. And when you think about that, it opens up the possibilities of different evil things that could come about from there. But it's not a place you want to be. If you are a good person, if you are, you know, fighting for the creator and stuff, if you're fighting for good, that's not a place you want to be. And let alone do you want to be going against things from there. They, like I said, they're ruthless. They're like what's Josh Brolin said on Dune. They're brutal, you know, like they're no remorse, no nothing. They just it's just like a hive mentality. But also, like, if you're high enough level that you know, start fighting for power, it's always like there's always coups and stuff like that that's happening over there. Whoever's the strongest is on top, you know. And so yeah, hope and pray you don't end up there, of course. Like I said, we do have a version of hell, but it's like it's not so much a place you go to and willingly, you know, or you're sent there, like I said, unless you make it so that you go there when you do pass away. And so, but like I said, like if you do bad stuff in your life, then you invite darkness and evil into your life. So, and then you kind of cast out the good, the angels, you know, creator, and you start inviting darkness and evil inside of your life. Now, what do I mean by that? That's another thing too. A lot of people get misconstrued, and they like to pervert it and use it for whatever gain of control. No, if you go to McDonald's and you eat junk food, you're not inviting the devil into your life. If you eat meat, you aren't inviting the devil into your life. You know, if you only eat, if you're a vegetarian, no, you're not inviting the devil into your life. No, you only invite darkness and evil if you break the natural laws. Natural laws go into a lot of basic stuff, you know, like there's no crazy stuff about mutating the creator's creation and like killing without cause or need, spreading famine and sickness, doing some crazy shit with other species. Yeah, don't do that. And yeah, just don't try to mess with the natural order of the ecosystem of the creator. And you know, you won't be inviting evil and darkness in. Now, if you go to like places where there's a lot of, I guess you can say, darker spirits, you open yourself up for a possibility of demons and shit hopping on. But then you have your family guardians that look after you to protect you whenever you go to sketchy places. I've been to a couple sketchy places in my life for sure. In my human world, like for work, yeah, I went to a place to go sell Lifeline phones in a very sketchy area to where they had a lot of like bounty hunter spirits, but they were, I guess, like also drug spirits and like alcohol spirits and addiction spirits and suicide spirits, death spirits, all in one place. And I had to try to sell Lifeline phones there, and pretty much, you know, just had to walk amongst them. But then they try following you back, but then the guardian spirits will go and make sure that doesn't happen. No, they don't. They ended it right there. But if you start making deals with the devil and you do pass away, don't be surprised, you know, like when it's your time, you know, human life goes by in a blink of an eye. In the spiritual world, it's forever, you know. So, and I don't, if they take you all the way down to hell, I'm sorry, but unless the creator himself comes down and makes a trade or makes an agreement to get you back, you're going to be stuck there, because their fortifications to even get there is, it's hell to get through. But yeah, just what I say, just, you know, in our tribe, in our faith, like if you do some, you fuck up in life every now and then, you're not going to hell, you know. If you follow different religions and faiths, you're going to hell. No, unless you know, follow the darker ones that praise hell, then yeah, you know, you're gonna end up going there because that's what you wanted. But if you like, you follow like different faiths or religions of good deities, then yeah, you'll be all right. You know, you're not gonna go to hell. You know, all this other torment, and I don't know, it's just like, it's almost like the versions of hell that I heard were used and were created for ways to control the masses. You know, like if you don't listen to what I say, then you're going to hell. And it's like, no, it's not how it works. You're not the creator to deem this. You're just some human that's pissed off because you didn't get enough gold or crops this year, you know, and just used it for fear. But it's like, for people out there, it's like a lot of the stuff that was happening in those times, it's like, to make those rules and those laws, like a lot of us Native Americans, we didn't have those problems, you know. It was kind of I don't know, kind of a weird thought process to think about some of the stuff and the rules that they make. You know, I never agreed with, you know, like if you're I guess you could say two-spirit, if you're like somebody of the same gender, you know, it's like we have they're healers in our tribe. They're Hatathis, or medicinal people. They have a sacred story. There's a sacred teaching of the two-spirited people, and it's like that we got that from the spiritual people who work with creator. And if, you know, like that faith and religion says that, oh, all people who, you know, love the same gender are going to hell, it's just like, but, you know, that's not how it works. They have their sacred teachings and stories, you know. So like, and why would a god go and say something like, you know, say Jesus went and said that stuff and made it into the rules, and it's like, you're going to hell if you like the same some. I just think somebody got sick of it because a lot of people were doing that back then in those days, you know, and they're just like, you're going to hell if you're doing that. And I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. But it's just like, to use it as in such a way to where you're to control the masses like that is not good. And yeah, to control and be at a higher rank above everybody else, higher entitlement, I guess, because you follow the rules, but you bend the rules in your favor and you pick and choose which ones you want to use. That's manipulation. And, you know, if you keep doing that, that will invite darkness and evil in your life when you pick and choose that stuff. And, you know, like if you want to only be good if it benefits you, but like everyone else screw you, then yeah, you're going to invite darkness and evil in your life. That's one thing I don't think people understand, is like, you can't just pick and choose when to be good. You have to be good your whole life, you know? And it's like, you can't just be like good and then evil in this and then good and then evil in this, because it doesn't benefit you, so you got to be evil in that. It's like, that's not how it works. You have to understand that. But yeah, to kind of recap everything, going to hell is we don't really have a hell, like as far as for what mainstream media portrays hell to be. But there is a place like that, to where it's a home world of evil, and there is a place like that out there. So just be careful who you interact with, places you go, live a good life, be happy, pray, to whoever you want to. Pray to Creator, pray to trees, pray to, that's what we do, spirituality, indigenous spirituality. And there's a fight between good and evil, and hope and pray that the good wins and keeps on going. So that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for my perspective on hell. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys are enjoying the new look of everything. It's pretty cool, huh? I like it. New lenses, anamorphic lenses. But I am still selling tickets to the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. It's coming up September 12th, coming up quick. Selling investigation tickets as well as meet and greet tickets. So if you guys want to, you're in Texas area, you're going to go to Texas, you're going to come investigate with us, come on over. It'll be awesome to meet you all. Yeah, tickets are in the video description below, and hope you all have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Look on it. Lots of cool things coming up. I wonder why you get anamorphic lenses. Like, should be a reason, right? Should be a reason. Kind of looks like a movie, huh?